I can feel the blood creeping up.
Hey, Elio brings the fire and Gina comes and puts it out. You know, that's how it works. Keep.
Feet coming for me. Hope you're ready for a demon. I got it.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the EFIN Sports Show. I am your host, Chris Fox. Today, we've got the challenge going on. We've got Gina Reppin, the Bay Productions out there in San Francisco. Welcome, Gina.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Works up in New York. We know Jones. How you doing, Jones?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing well. And of course, we got Average Joe Sports Talk E-Man himself. Elio, how the heck are you, bud?
Good, man. Good. Can't complain, man. Thursday. Can't wait for the weekend. Looking forward to the championship round.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because that's exactly what the challenge is going to be about today. We're going to keep it NFL on this one, and this is how the challenge is going to work. I'm going to make a statement. Someone's going to go first, and whoever goes first is going to have 1 minute to make their case. Anybody that disagrees can throw their challenge flag, and they will get a minute to say why they disagree, make their case. I'll give you guys a chance to rebut if necessary. I'm going to decide who wins the argument. You'll get a point. We'll move on to the next question. Whoever has the most points at the end is going to win the challenge. Everybody good? Good. Ms. Gina, this first one starts with you. Tell me someone from the playoff teams who's going to play for another team next year.
I would say, so playoffs, meaning like all of the teams that have played in all of the playoffs.
Yes, ma'am.
Not just the Final Four.
No. Maybe Dak's not staying. Maybe Danny Dimes is
Daniel
getting shipped
Jones.
out.
Yeah.
That's
Danny
your one?
Dimes. Daniel Jones.
Why is Danny getting shipped? Why not keep him?
I don't think he's part of the formula that makes the system work. I think it's Dable. I think Dable's the one that runs the ship, that keeps it going. He's the reason why things are going well. Getting rid of Daniel Jones, they need a better quarterback. Dable can get pretty much anyone else to do better. I don't know, like I'm not saying like Zach Wilson or anything like that, but I think he can get someone maybe like Dak. I don't know. I'm just saying. I was just being facetious, but I'm just saying that someone else would fit better in the Giants system, not Daniel Jones.
This is interesting because you brought up Dak and Daniel. JonesN for Sports. You were at 48 seconds, by the way. I didn't start your time until you actually had made the decision. JonesN for Sports, we're coming to you. She basically said Danny Dimes and Dak Prescott are going to be playing for different teams. Agree or disagree, or go with another player. All right.
Throwing the flag. I disagree. I think Danny Jones and Dak Prescott are both staying where they are. First of all, let's start with Dak. Dak is staying in Dallas because we're paying him $50 million next year and the year after that. He's stuck, unfortunately for me. He's stuck in Dallas, so that's the bad part. For the Giants, I think he's actually proved that he deserves to stay there. Now, depending on the contract, how much money they're going to throw at him, that's going to be what actually decides whether he stays or not. But I think he deserves, I think based off of how he played this year, he deserves to stay. If the price is right.
There you go. About just short of a minute again. E-Man, you wanted to go third. You've heard Dak. You've heard Danny Dimes. Reasons why they could go. Reasons why they could stay. Are you gonna run with that, or do you got one of your own?
I got. That was a pretty good rebuttal there by both of them. You know, I'm gonna give them my own, right? I'm gonna start with the most obvious one that's not gonna be there. It's the same as Tom Brady. All right, he's not gonna be with the Bucs next season. For sure. And I'm going to give you a second one since I'm last anyway. But Tom Brady, for sure, if he comes back to play, he's not playing with the Bucs. Rumors in the locker room said the same thing. He didn't sound like the guy that he was coming back with other teammates and stuff like that. Look, little ugly head Josh McDaniel, who should not be a head coach, is a great offensive coordinator, is probably fighting for his job already in his first season. So guess what? Let me bring the GOAT in for Las Vegas. And, I got receivers, I got running backs. Well, let's strengthen the O-line. We could probably do better than Carr. Hey, that's me throwing a dart there on the wall. Another one that's not going to be back, and it's going to be Zeke. Zeke played his last game as most likely, unless he restructured his contract, as a Cowboys, because you got to pay Pollard. All right? That last play of him getting nailed to the ground is symbolic, because that's the way his career is going to end in Dallas, bro. All right? With his head facing up to the for a new team.
That is your minute. I have to decide a winner. I think both Gina and Jones, you both made good points, but I agreed with everything that Elio said, and so I'm going to go with Elio on this one. He's going to get this point. I do think that Danny is going to get shipped out. However, I also agree with Jones that Dak is going to end up staying because of that contract. Without that contract, I think Dak would be gone, but that contract is there. I agree with you, Gina. I don't think Daniel is time to try something else for the Giants. I know you're a Giants fan, E-Man. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, but it's not going to happen on this show. But you are the winner of that. On to question 2, rotate around. Jones, you'll take this one first. Question 2, which quarterback of the 4 teams left? We got 4 quarterbacks, the youngest team of quarterbacks in a very long time, shows the shift in the NFL, shows that what the NFL has been trying to do for more than a decade is finally working, and the veterans should be scared. Which quarterback of the 4 remaining playoff teams is most critical to their team's success in getting to the Super Bowl?
Now that's a very great question, and because when you think about all these questions, all these teams, all 4 quarterbacks are deserving of being valuable to their team. So it was a very, very hard question to answer. But when I really thought about it, I had to think about everything that was involved with their team and what they brought to the table. And for me, I had to go with Patrick Mahomes, because without him, I feel that team looks completely different without him. Those plays, the reason why Patrick Mahomes is so special is because the off-script plays that he can do. Not saying that those other quarterbacks can't do that, but they can't do it as well as he can do it. And then when you talk about backups, well, 49ers don't have any more backups, so they're pretty much screwed if they don't have Brock after that. Mahomes, I mean, the Chiefs, they got Henry, who had a 98-yard run.
That is your minute, Jones. Very compelling case, to say the least, though. E-Man, you are up. Same question. Of the 4 teams remaining, which of these young quarterbacks means the most to get in that ring?
I'm not going to steal Gina's thunder, but for sure is Joey Cool. Why? Because he's the man that took this team last year, same record in the midseason. They were 6-4, ran the tables, was doubted again at the beginning of the season, going 0-2, runs the tables again. He's going to face Mahomes now for a 4th time, and he's about to go 4-0. Because that dude is it. You know what? He reminds me a lot of Tom Brady. Not the most gifted, all right? Not doesn't have the best tools, but the man rises to the top when the lights are brightest. So I think he means the most to that team. He's probably the best leader, and Patrick Mahomes to me is top after Patrick Mahomes in this NFL right here. So to me, it's Joe Shiesty.
There you go, Gina. We're going to you. These 4 teams. I would be surprised if you said Purdy, but let's see what you have to say. Who is the most crucial out of these 4 teams? Who is not replaceable if they want to win that ring?
I'm actually going to say Jalen Hurts, because think about where he came from as far as his predecessor, Carson trash ass Wentz, who was an MVP, in 2017, and then he crumbled. And so now you've got like these fans that have been like crying and saying, we want to go back. We want to go back. And, now they're left with, some really good up and coming players and this young guy who's doing really well, and he's a threat. So he's crucial. He's crucial to their team. If you don't have him, you ain't going to no NFC Championship. Period.
There we go. There's the minute. Elio, I saw the flag come up. Are you gonna throw it? Are you throwing it?
I'm disappointed.
All right.
Disappointed.
The
The only team that doesn't have a backup plan out of the 4 is your team. So if your quarterback goes down, like Jones said, you guys are fucked. I mean, you're done. He can't throw anybody out there, man. I don't know who are the position players can fling the football out there to put them at the. I mean, that's why I said I didn't want to see your thunder. You disappointed me, man. I mean, Jalen is a good choice, but believe it or not, not the best backup in Gardner Minshew out of the 4.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Hey,
I mean, look, I agree with all of you that all these quarterbacks are kind of irreplaceable, but I think at the nature of the question being the most critical is kind of what you said, Gina. If they didn't have this guy, they could not win. There's no plug and play here. And I think in this case, it is. I go back and forth so much.
It's a hard question.
I gotta go with JonesN for sports on this one, and it's an overall picture. We know that Kansas City has a backup. Henny came in, and Mahomes went down. Kansas City, that they may still have a shot. And I also agree. We don't really know who Burrow's backup is if Burrow went down. I do agree that the Eagles do have Minshew, who at least has some game experience. San Francisco is probably in the worst position. If Purdy went down, they really don't have anybody to come in. But I don't think he's the most
Jimmy's
critical.
getting healthy.
Purdy is the example. Purdy is the example of a plug-and-play player, and it shows that Shanahan success. He'll put the punter in there, and they'll be just fine. But if Mahomes goes down, nobody can do what Mahomes can do in this entire league. Nobody can play the way he plays. It's not that you can't have success. Joe Fools beat him every single time. So he can be beat, but nobody can do what he can do. And considering Kansas City really only has one superstar offensive weapon compared to everybody else, and that's Kelsey, and they're still the top team in the league. I got to go with Mahomes on this one. So round three is a two-parter. E-Man, you get to start first on this. Kansas City is going to the Super Bowl. Go. Yes or no?
No. Kansas City's going to win the Bengals. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Right. This is the reason why. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world, right? But he's injured. High ankle sprain. I don't care how good they're trying to hide it. They're trying to say, you saw him play last week when he came back in the game. He uses his legs. He's not a guy that takes off running wise like Jalen or Lamar, but he uses his legs so much to move around the pocket to make those plays that nobody else can make in the league. That's going to affect his game 100%. Because remember, he just doesn't sit back there and slings it. He goes around different arm angles. He creates those arm angles and those throws by the movement of himself, in the pocket and around and all that good stuff. So that's a huge part of his game. And you know what, man? The Bengals have all the firepower. Chase, Higgins, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, who's, could be a number 2 in the other team. Tyler Boyd will be a number 1 in the Giants, all right? Put it that way, as a wide receiver. So I think the firepower and the fact that Mahomes is not healthy, it's not going to be a Super Bowl visit this time around for the Chiefs.
There you go. Gina, you're up second. Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl. Yes or no? Tell me why. Make your case.
Yes, based on the fact that Henny will save the day when Patrick starts feeling a little iffy. And 49ers want a rematch. That's all I got.
That's it. It's for the rematch. Jones, you got the last say in this. Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl. Yes or no?
I fought with this for a while, but no, I'm with E on this one. The Chiefs are not going to the Super Bowl, and it's because everything he said. Mahomes not healthy is a major fault for them. That's going to hurt them badly because, like he said, he was able to come back and play well against the Jags, who's a good team, but it's still the Jags. He's not going to be able to do have that much magic to do that against Joe Cool. He's just too cool for that, and he has too much weapons. So I think that's going to be the reason. If he's not mobile, then they have no shot.
I'd like to remind
All
everyone
right,
that there's only one Joe Cool, and that's Joe Montana.
Oh, there you go. Oh. There you go. A question for another show. Yeah, look, I like what everybody said. You all make fantastic points, but having that bum tire is definitely going to hurt Mahomes. Overall, I don't think that's what cost him the game. I actually had Kansas City going to the Super Bowl in my picks until I saw that game against the Bills, and Cincinnati is firing on all cylinders. I think we're on a 10-game win streak right now. Joe is cool as ever. He's got an entire team behind him, and Kansas City just doesn't. And I'm a big believer that offense wins games, but defense wins championships, and Cincinnati definitely gets the edge in the defense department. And so I think as much as the storyline and always rooting for an underdog, a lot of people want to see Mahomes and Kansas City finally take Cincinnati down. I do think that Cincinnati is going to win this game. So point each for Jones and E-Man. But don't worry, Gina, the last questions were 5 points, so you can still get this out. You get to go first again because it's a two-parter. Philly is also going to the Super Bowl. Yes or no? Make your case.
Hell no. And the reason why is because the 49ers have number one defense, number two in passer rating, number one in pass rush. We're basically going to do our best to stop Jalen Hurts in the NFC Championship. Yes, our Achilles heel is mobile quarterbacks, but he's never faced a defense like ours. And they played like pretty much 500 teams. So the thing is that we are going to be like all over Philly. And yes, they have some really, really good players, but I don't think they can really get past us. It's definitely going to be one of the biggest challenges that the 49ers face, but they're not going to the Super Bowl, period.
There you go. San Francisco's in, according to Gina. No big surprise there, but she makes a compelling case. Jones, how do you feel about it?
As much as it hurts me to say this, Philadelphia is going to the Super Bowl. Sorry, Gina. If you would have asked me this a week ago prior to the games, I would have agreed with you. I would have said 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. Eagles are going home. After what I've seen last week, completely flipped. Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is back where he wants to be, feeling healthy, looking good, taking shots and everything, running the ball. Philly looks like a whole new team with him, and that's why he makes a great case to be MVP this season. And then 49ers look like they came down to earth last week against my Cowboys with a good defense, which Philly does have, and you got a third-string quarterback who's starting to feel a little bit more pressure as the stakes get a little higher. So I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles, as much as it pains me to say that.
Near perfect time. E-Man, you're going to get the last word on this one. Is Philly going to the Super Bowl? Yes, they are, or?
No, absolutely not. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, I can't stand Philly, right? Number two, look, they covered against a really good defense of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm giving you props here. With their backup quarterback, right? Jalen Hurts struggled. And now that was number two defense in the league, right? The top two defenses played last week. Now they're going against number one defense with the same kind of player. Like, they have their own Micah Parsons. Bosa is going to be all over that shit, all right? Number two, I think Brock Purdy is going to do okay because, remember, they've been averaging 35 points a game since he took over. And the fact that he had his one bad game already, the game that everybody was expecting him to have, he had it in the worst possible time. They still got that done because of that great defense and that great running game. So not because I hate Philly so much, and not because I picked the Niners like 9 weeks ago to win the Super Bowl with plus 700. That's not the only reason why I'm picking the Niners. But I think, honestly, the Cinderella story is going to go on. I think Jalen has done a great job this year. To me, he exceeded all my expectations, and he deserves to be in the MVP conversation. And they got to have a good quarterback and a good team for years to come, but not this year.
There we go. I think I gave you an extra 5 or 10 seconds or something. That's okay. You were on a roll, and I want to let it go. So we got 1 for Philly. We got 2 for San Francisco. Who's going to the Super Bowl? I got to tell you, E-Man and Gina, you guys were that close to flipping me. I'm not going to lie. You guys made a fantastic case. Again, I totally believe defense wins championships. And the nice thing here is we have 2 fantastic defenses. Both these teams can play on the other side of the ball. Both these teams have a great offense. And I think the biggest thing that almost swayed me, E-Man, was what you said about even playing the second best defense. They still got the dub. Purdy had his bad game, and they still got the dub. And so now, they're going to face Philly, who, statistically isn't as good. But I'm with you on this one, Jones. I think Philly's going to pull this one out. I think there's a reason that the spread on this is like 2 points, 2.5 points. And because it is going to be that close, I can definitely see this coming down to a field goal, but I see, and hopefully it's not San Francisco kicking it, because if it's Gould for the win, Gould's going to get it. But
Robbie Gould is as good as gold.
If it's going to come to a field goal, it's going to be the Niners winning it. I hate to break it to you, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think Philly pulls this one out. I think they've got the weapons, and the thing that San Francisco doesn't have is a more seasoned quarterback. He's faced bigger challenges. He's faced stronger defenses. And you're absolutely right, Gina. I don't think the Eagles have faced anything like they're going to face in the 49ers all year, and they're going to be tested. But like you said, Jones, they came out on that field. They're feeling it. They're feeling the same thing Joe Burrow's feeling. They're just in a zone right now. And I think that's going to edge them out and take them to the Super Bowl. Don't be surprised if I'm wrong on this one. Players, that's going to give JonesN for Sports the win for this challenge. Insert yours here. Hooray. I'm sorry, guys. That's easy arguments, but I appreciate you guys coming out and making your arguments. You guys definitely had strong cases. You just it's going to be an amazing weekend. Gina, Reppin the Bay, where can we find you out there in the data sphere?
Well, I'm all over social media at Gina Reppin Bay, and my channel is Gina Reppin Bay Productions. I'm on YouTube, and if you just Google me, actually, Gina Reppin Bay, you can find me everywhere.
It's there. I did it myself. JonesN for Sports. We know where to find you, but where do we find you, John?
You know where to find me. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Anchor, Apple, Spotify. You can find me everywhere at JonesN for Sports, as you see it on the screen now.
You can find them on the streets of New York. That's where you can find them, because that's where you can find them stuff. E-Man, where do you find you?
All right. The quickest way is go to Twitter, Joes_talk on Twitter. Check the bio, click on the link tree, and you're gonna see all the platforms where my podcast is available: YouTube, Spotify, all the platforms, and even on TikTok, you could check me out, as well as Jones there, man. You forgot to plug one in there, Jones. but go ahead, and that's the easiest way to find me, man. You have different platforms for whatever flavor you like. You're gonna hear my voice or see me, either one.
And I've been on your podcast before.
Get those ats up in the corner, at Gina Reppin Bay, at JonesN for Sports, at Joes_talk on Twitter, and get some of the best sports content that you can find. Lady and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the EFIN Sports Show. You guys come back, check us out. We got more stuff going on all the time. It's the EFIN Sports Show. It's all sports all the time on your terms, not ours. Have a great one, everybody. Be safe. Enjoy the games this weekend.
Go Niners.
Peace.
Yeah.
Who got it right? Who got it wrong? Who do you agree with? What would your picks be? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on the EFIN Sports Show. Come back. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Everybody have a great time. Be safe. Thanks for watching the EFIN Sports Show. I'm Chris Fox.
Or I could go heal him. Don't believe in fate. Don't believe in.
Who got it right? Who got it wrong? Who do you agree with?
Starts feeling I don't pace.